to watch yourself.
Watch yourself are a two-way watching, right? Allah is watching you, you're watching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning you're cognizant of Allah. At every moment a person is conscious, what am I doing? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. So the 6th hadith in this chapter, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. Abi Hurairah رضي الله عنه, he narrates, أنه سمع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول. This hadith, it's long. There's not much discussion here, inshallah. I'll just read and translate, inshallah, and we'll go over the next hadith as well. يقول إن ثلاثة من بني إسرائيل. There were 3 people from the Bani Israel. Abras, a leper, somebody who had like a skin problem. وأقرع, a bald person. وأعمى, and a blind person. أراد الله أن يبتليهم فبعث إليهم ملكا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to test them, so He sent to them an angel. Now look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows the reality of all of us. He knows what's inside of us. Tests, what they do is they bring out whatever is inside of us. Whether there's goodness inside of a person, whether there's evil inside of a person, whether there's patience, whether there's ujla and impatience, whether there's anger, or whether there's hilm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through test, He brings these out and He makes it apparent to all of mankind. And then on the day of judgment, Itmamul Hujjah will be there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will either reward us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish us. So I knew I have this, I knew that you had this inside of you, but now this is the proof of it. This is how you acted at this time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to test these 3 people. So as we're listening to this hadith, think, how does this relate to muraqabah, inshallah? Because that's what you have to do. See why Imam Nawawi brought each hadith in the chapter. So don't just look at it as a story. Yeah, you'll benefit from the hadith, but try to see what point Imam Nawawi is trying to make as well. So فَأَتَى الْأَبْرَصَ, this angel, and this angel is in the form of a man, okay? So this angel, he came to the leper. فَقَالَ أَيُّ شَيْءٍ أَحَبُّ إِلَيْكَ, what is the thing that you would love the most? Imagine, this person is ostracized by the society for being a leper, and leprosy is something that, it's considered contagious too, so people say stay away. He said, لَوْنٌ حَسَنٌ وَجِلْدٌ حَسَنٌ, I want to be of a good complexion, and I want to have good skin. وَيَذْهَبُ عَنِّي الَّذِي قَدْ قَدِرَنِي النَّاسِ, and I want that thing through which people dislike me, that people are disgusted from me, that people stay away from me, I want that to be taken away, meaning this leprosy. فَمَسَحَهُ, so now this angel in the form of a man rubbed him. فَذَهَبَ عَنْهُ قَدَرُهُ, so this illness of his went away. وَأُعْطِيَ لَوْنًا حَسَنًا, and he was given a good color. قَالَ فَأَيُّ الْمَالِ يَحَبُّ إِلَيْكَ, then he asked, what type of wealth do you like the best? قَالَ الْإِبِلِ, he said a camel. أو قَالَ الْبَقَرِ, شَكَّ الرَّاوِي. So over here sometimes the narrator, because they're very careful what they narrated the hadith, this narrator here said, I'm not sure. Was it I think it was a camel, but maybe I heard that it was a cow instead, right? But it seems that the correct, when you look at the other narrations, it's a camel. This man, he said he likes camel. So فَأُعْطِيَ نَاقَةً عُشَرَاء, so he was given a 10-month pregnant camel. It looked like, for example, in Surah Takwir, what is it? وَإِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ وَإِذَا النُّجُومُ انْكَدَرَتْ وَإِذَا الْجِبَالُ وَإِذَا الْعِشَارُ عُطِّلَتْ. When the 10-month pregnant camel is left, this is the most valuable type of wealth for an Arab. That the camel, its gestation period is not 9 months like a human, it's 10 months, right? Right as it's about to give birth, on the day of judgment, people out of fear, they'll leave it. And I've said this many times before, a camel is so valuable to them. Why? Because imagine you have like a car. So a camel is like a car, it's a vehicle. But now imagine your car, it could give birth to other cars, right? Like your SUV gives birth to a sedan. And then on top of that, it gives you milk too, that you could drink. And then when you get tired of it, you could even slaughter it and you could eat it. That's what a camel is. Now imagine when it's pregnant, you're about to get another one. So now this person is given a 10-month pregnant camel. So the Toyotas can't do that, right? They can run for 30 years, but they can't do that. فَقَالَ بَارَكَ اللَّهُ لَكَ فِيهَا, then this angel said, may Allah bless you in this. فَأَتَى الْأَقْرَعُ, now he came to the bald man and said, فَقَالَ أَيُّ شَيْءٍ أَحَبُّ إِلَيْكَ, he said, what thing do you like the most? قَالَ شَعْرٌ حَسَنٌ, he said, beautiful hair. وَيَذْهَبُ عَنِّي هَذَا الَّذِي قَدِرَنِ النَّاسِ, and this thing that people dislike me because of it goes away. فَمَسَحَهُ فَذَهَبَ عَنْهُ وَأُعْطِيَ شَعْرًا حَسَنًا, so the angel rubbed him, and this his baldness went away and his hair came back. So he didn't have to go to Turkey for this hair transplant that everyone goes for, right? He got it back. قال فأي المال أحب إليك? He said, what type of wealth do you like the best? قال البقر. He said, cow. فأعطي بقرة حاملة. So he was given a pregnant camel. وقال بارك الله لك فيها. The angel said, may Allah bless you in this. فأتى الأعمى. Now he goes to the third person, the blind man. فقال أي شيء أحب إليك? He said, what thing do you love the most? قال أن يرد الله إلي بصري فأبصر الناس. I wish that Allah would return my eyesight. Now, number one, notice his way of speaking and look at the other people. The first two, what did they say? I want good skin. I want good hair. This one he says, I want that Allah returns my eyesight so that I could see the people. فَمَسَحَهُ فَرَدَّ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ بَصَرَهُ. So he rubs him and Allah returned his sight. قال فأي المال يحب إليك? So what wealth do you like the best? قال الغنم. They said this, what do you like? Sheep and goats, like these four-legged animals, right? قال الغنم فأعطي شاة والدة. So he was given a pregnant sheep. فأنتج هذان وولد هذا. So now those two animals, right, or all of these three animals basically, they all gave birth. So this camel and this cow and the sheep, they all gave birth, and there are many children after this, okay? فكان لهذا واد من الإبل ولهذا واد من البقر ولهذا واد من الغنم. Each of the three had a valley full of the animals that they were given, along with their health being restored in whatever way that they wanted. ثم إنه, then the angel came later on. أتى الأبرص في صورته وهيئته. Now the angel comes sometime later in the form of a leper to the one who used to be a leper. فقال رجل مسكين. He said, I'm a poor man. فقد انقطعت بي الجبال في سفري. And he said that, look, basically I've crossed many mountains in my travel. فلا بلاغ لي اليوم إلا بالله ثم بك. And I have no way to get back home, right? Except through Allah and then through you, right? And then through you. It's like a respectful way of saying, please help me. أسألك بالذي أعطاك اللون الحسن. I ask you by the one who gave you this good skin color, والجلد الحسن, and this good skin, والمال, and this wealth, بعيرا, a camel, أتبلغ به في سفري, that will allow me to continue on to my journey. فقال الحقوق كثيرة. He said, I have many responsibilities. Many people are asking for wealth. I have a lot of people I have to help out, a lot of bills, a lot of this, a lot of that. فقال فكأني أعرفك. Now the angel says, I think that I recognize you. ألم تكن أبرص يقدرك الناس? Weren't you a leper that people disliked? فقيرا فأعطاك الله. You were poor and Allah gave you. فقال إنما ورثت هذا المال. He said, no, I inherited this wealth. كابرا عن كابر. This has been in my family for generations. Generational wealth. فقال, so the angel said, okay, إن كنت كاذبا فصيرك الله إلى ما كنت. If you're lying, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you as you were. And then he goes on. Some narrations say he turned back into a leper. And he became poor too. وأتى الأقرع. Now he came to the bald person في صورته وهيئته, in the same form, bald. فقال له مثل ما قال لهذا. He said the same that he said to the leper. ورد عليه مثل ما رد هذا. And he rejected him the way that the leper rejected him. فقال إن كنت كاذبا فسيرك الله إلى ما كنت. If you're lying, may Allah make you the way that you were. He became like that. وأتى الأعمى. Now he went to the blind person في صورته وهيئته, as a blind person. فقال رجل مسكين وابن السبيل. I'm a poor person and I'm وابن سبيل, and I am a traveler. انقطعت بي الجبال في سفري. And there's many mountains between me and where I have to get to. فلا بلاغ لي اليوم إلا بالله ثم بك. Nobody will be able to help me except for Allah and then you. أسألك بالذي رد عليك بصرك. I ask by the one who returned your sight to you for a sheep, شاة أتبلغ بها في سفري, that I could use in my journey. فقال قد كنت أعمى. He said, yes, I was blind. فرد الله إلي بصري. Allah returned my eyesight to me. فخذ ما شئت ودع ما شئت. Take what you want, leave what you want. فوالله ما أجهدك اليوم. Wallahi, I won't argue with you at all. بشيء أخذته. For anything that you take, I'm not going to argue with you. لله عز وجل. Right? This is for Allah. Take whatever you want. فقال أمسك مالك. So now the angel says, keep your wealth. فإنما ابتليتم you all have been tested. فَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْكَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with you. وَسَخِطَ عَلَى صَاحِبَيْكَ, and He is angry with your two companions. Muttafaqun alayh. This is agreed upon by Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim. So now, what do we learn from this? How does this relate to muraqabah? Any ideas? How is it?
Third one was conscious of Allah all the time.
Right.
Asking that Allah would give Allah.
Right. So look, the first one, he started out in the state of muraqabah as well. He was already cognizant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so when he asked for something, he was already experiencing the state of muraqabah. Allah gave him. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him, he didn't forget as well, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. We'll test you with evil and with good. Good meaning wealth. Or it could be any type of good. We'll test you with difficulties and we'll test you with good things. We'll test you with sins and we'll test you with wealth and health and all of these things. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah said, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul will taste death. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. And in the meantime, before your death comes, we'll test you with good and with evil and with good. وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Then you have to return to us. He was tested with difficulty. He remembered Allah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him rich. He remembered Allah. He didn't forget Allah. He didn't forget where he came from. Right? And so then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was happy with him. Contrast that with his other two friends. What happened with them? At the beginning they weren't thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the end they became arrogant and they didn't think about Allah. Allah gave them a chance. Some people in times of difficulty, fine. They become despondent. Maybe it slips their mind to make dua. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps them out. But even then they don't realize. And they're putting up fronts and they're making up things because they're embarrassed about what they used to be. Rather, the way that a person should be is that they must always remember where they came from and what they are. This is muraqabah. I think, I don't know if it was in this dars or in tafsir. Did I tell you the story of Ayaz, the servant of Sultan Mahmud Ghaznawi? I told you here? What was it?
He used to, his name was Muhammad, and I think that because I'm not.
So this Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavi, he was like one of the first Muslim rulers in India, right? So he had this servant of his that he liked a lot, he favored a lot, named Ayaz. So people, they used to become jealous. And here when the name Ayaz comes, I'll tell you one joke as well. This, in our Desi culture, we like to rhyme the names, right? We like to rhyme names. So there was Mawlana Ashraf Ali Thanvi rahmatullahi alayh. He had one murid. So this murid, his name was Ijaz. So he went to Hazrat Thanvi and he said, Allah gave me a son. I want a son whose name rhymes with my name. He said, okay, name your son Ayaz. So you're Ijaz, you can name your son Ayaz. He came back a few years later, he said, I have another son. He said, okay, name him Riyaz. You want a rhyming name? Name Riyaz. He came back in another year. For 2 years. He said, I had another son, I need a rhyming. He said, name him Imtiaz. Then he came back a fourth time with a son and he said, give me a rhyming name. He said, name him Piaz. Right? I don't have any other rhyming names for you. Piaz meaning onions. Right? Okay, so anyway, so this, what was I saying? So this Sultan Mahmud, he had this certain name, Ayaz. Ayaz, people were jealous of him. Why is the king favoring him so much? So they noticed, they were trying to find some dirt on him. So they saw that he had a cupboard in his room. So every day, they used to notice that he would be very careful. He had the key to it. He wouldn't let anybody ever look in this cupboard. Very secretive about it. So they began to spread rumors he's stealing from the king. He's stealing from Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavi. So now the Sultan, he begins to hear these rumors and Ayaz isn't like this. I know he's not like this. The people kept telling him, his advisors kept telling him. He said, okay. Finally he went to Ayaz's room. He said, open the cupboard. He said, no. And he never disobeys the king. No, I won't. He kept insisting. Finally, he took the key and from Ayaz forcefully and he opened it. And inside of there, did he find rubies, pearls? Nothing. He found rags. So what is this? He said that these were the rags I was wearing the first time I met you. So and now look at me, I'm one of the most important people in the kingdom. So every night before I go to sleep, I put these rags back on, I look in the mirror and I say that, Ayaz, this is what you came from. And then you met this king and he did all of this for you. So don't forget where you came from. Similarly, we shouldn't forget who we are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may have blessed us. Don't forget where we came from. That's what muraqabah is. Because the test, it makes apparent what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows about us. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us some good, because there's some people, like what happens is they start out bad, Allah gives them good, they remember Allah, that's fine. Some people, they remember Allah in bad times, then in good times they forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people start out good, they forget about Allah, some calamity comes in their life, then they forget about Allah. Or some people don't remember Allah in good times, then the calamity comes, they remember Allah and they stay like that. But the worst person is they don't remember Allah in good times nor in bad times, right? They don't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now, what is the muraqabah here? It's the importance of not forgetting our origins, because we will then, when somebody asks us for help, we will help them. Why? Because we'll realize our insignificance. We'll become cognizant of our insignificance, and we'll say, I was nothing, Allah gave me all of this, take this. Right? That's what we have to do. At all times, don't forget where we came from. Sometimes we see a person as well, whether they're wealthy in this world, whether they're like a doctor, whether they're engineer, celebrity, athlete, scholar, whatever, and people admire them so much. But if you ever want to become like them, you don't ever look at their intiha, you don't look at them at their fame, you have to look at their early years. Look at how much they struggled, look at all of the hardship that they put in, right? They shouldn't forget it, and you shouldn't forget it either, right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be people of muraqabah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to never forget where we came from. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it such that when we're tested with good, we remember that it's Allah that gave it to us. And so when somebody else needs help, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to help them as well. Inshallah, next week we'll do a couple of hadiths, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
And it's going to be after Isha, inshallah, correct?
It's been after Isha, right? This is Isha. Tafsir this week after Maghrib, from next week after Isha.
Yeah, inshallah.